Dr. Dre did Warren G dirty. I already seen a while ago when Warren G did a interview with Big Boy's Neighborhood. Let's see. Warren G did an interview in Big Boy's Neighborhood, and just by what he was saying then, I already knew that he was done dirty. He said that the way I might have even talked about this before, I don't know, but now Suge Knight came out and talked about it. That's why I'm talking about it again. If I did already talk about it before, all that time when the Chronic was out, Death Row, the Chronic. I remember back in the day, we all used to wonder, how come Warren G ain't signed to Death Row? Because back then, you would read the back of the goddamn CD and the back of the tape. You would look at the credits, all that type of stuff. Weird thing when people were like, why? How come Warren G ain't signed to them? Then we found out on Big Boy's Neighborhood. Warren G did an interview with Big Boy. He was like, the way he found out that he wasn't, not the way he found out he wasn't signed, but the way he found out that he was like pretty much kicked out of the crew was they was getting on an airplane to go somewhere. Everybody got their tickets except him. He pretty much got basically left at the airport with no ticket on some most surprise, you ain't down type shit. So even when I heard him say that, I was like, that's foul for Dr. Dre. But now Suge Knight came out. We know Suge Knight be saying any goddamn thing in the past 2 years. You can't take everything Suge Knight says serious because he just been saying any old thing. But he said your brother didn't want you signed. Dr. Dre didn't want you signed. And when you really think about it, it makes sense because even when he was on the Chronic, Death Row, working with Death Row, the Chronic and all that stuff, if I was there with my brother, and this is another thing, I see people commenting, I can't see who it is, it's kind of dark, shout out to y'all. If you, because Dr. Dre and Warren G is brothers, if you don't know that. So if you and your brother go somewhere together, and not only that, Warren G bought Snoop Dogg at Death Row. But if you and your brother are dealing with like a situation, like a rap label, something like that, where you got the possibility for you the opportunity to get signed and come up, I'm not going to go sit here and go as far as to say, well, I wouldn't sign without my brother. If it was like my brother ain't signed, I ain't going to sit there and lie to you, goddamn. I would have signed regardless. I ain't going to say that, but I would have at least told my brother, and I'm sure any of my brothers would have understood. Like, look, and I'm feeling you, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason. I'm going to still do this, get this money, bring you up. You know what I mean? Maybe this might not work out for you, but I make sure I get you in somewhere along the line at some point. That's what I would have told my brother, and he would, and I'm sure they would have, because I would understand something like that. He's not just going to throw an opportunity away because somebody. And plus, we don't know the whole story. There's three sides: his side, and then the truth. We don't know the real story of what the drama between Warren G and Suge Knight was or could have been. But Suge Knight said something that made a lot of sense when he said this today. I thought about it, and it made sense. Suge Knight said, all right, how come Dr. Dre never had Warren G produce nothing else after the fact of Death Row? He had the whole Eminem situation, the 50 situation, the Game situation, other West Coast artists and stuff like that. How come he never had Warren G produce for none of them? And I was like, you know what, Suge, that makes a lot of motherfucking sense. That shit makes sense. So it sounded to me like, hit the goddamn like button. It sounded to me like Dr. Dre. Damn. I the phone dropped. I tried to catch the motherfucking shit. It was too late. I was too slow. Dr. Dre, for whatever reason, sounded like he must have been hating on Warren G. You know what I'm saying? Because why would you not have put him on any of them projects all those times after all those years? The shit might not have worked out with Suge and them and Death Row. But yeah, why not? But then with Warren G, another thing he said on Big Boy's Neighborhood, he was like, yeah, I remember that. I forgot this part. He said when he did the Violator shit, the Regulator shit. You remember Regulator? If you were of a certain age, you remember Regulator. You know what I'm saying? with Nate Dogg. He said that Big Boy was asking him, he was like, who? He was like, something about people doubting him, and Big Boy was like, who? Who was doubting it? Who wasn't really feeling it like that? And Warren G didn't even say Dr. Dre's name, but he gave him the look, and he was like, the Big Boy was like, no. He was like, yeah. So that right there goes to show you, man. Dr. Dre was on some bullshit, and that's real ugly. That's whack. And Warren G is pretty much all but saying that out of his mouth, but without actually saying it, with his body language and the stuff he be saying. But I just heard that little Suge interview on Art of Dialogue. So I was like, yeah, that's some bullshit. That's my era, you know what I'm saying? That's the shit that I grew up on. So I'm like, yeah, that's kind of intriguing to me. But go to show you, man, how jokers is grimy, man. Business is evil, man. Business is evil. Yes, please don't forget to hit the share button, like Kyra Knows said. I saw somebody else in your quiet storm. Shout out to you, Kyra Knows. But yeah, that's about it, man. It's ugly, yo. It's weird when people, like, I'm the kind of person that's like, I look at the big picture so much as far as like the legacy of certain stuff. Once you make it to a certain level, a certain extent, how could you have any kind of problems with the people that you fuck with like that? I'm even such a fucking legacy type person. Not like my own personal legacy. I ain't saying like that. I'm saying like as far as like, if I become like successful or really blow up or some shit, get rich, whatever you call success, whatever it is, even now when I ain't got shit like that, I still even like am appreciative of like all this shit, like even like the beef I've been through, people I like, shit like that, because I look at it like every little thing makes you who you are, like every step of the way, every little notch contributed to you being where you're at, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you fucked up and you locked up somewhere or out in the streets and your life's all fucked up, then of course you ain't looking at it like that. In that case, you're like, yeah, you're not gonna learn. You can't appreciate that kind of thing like that. But if you become successful after all you've been through, like, how could you like be on such petty bullshit after that? Like, you gotta have some deep, serious hatred for your people to show your ass like that, and after blowing up and like going through what you went through and shit. And Warren G definitely contributed. He was a vital part of the Chronic. You know what I'm saying? Warren G's he always had skills. You know what I'm saying? Like producing and rapping. Yeah, I just thought that was fucking grimy, man. When Suge said that, how come Dr. Dre ain't never put him on nothing after that? Then I thought about it. I said that is motherfucking true. That is true. That's right. And that's whack. And that's motherfucking whack. That's about it. Hit the like button before you get up out of here. Shout out to everybody that came through. And stay out of the way of these jokers. Hit that like button. Oh yeah, hit the like button. Stay out of the way of these jokers.